Alright, Schlockmeisters fans, checking out a classic from the 80s. 1986's Deadly Friend. Let's check it out. Our movie starts with a thief breaking into a car. With immediate regret. He lets him go. And here comes Paul and his mother. Matthew Laberte from Little House. Paul and his mother have moved to a new house near Polytech, where whiz kid Paul has got some sort of super college scholarship. He's into robotics, and now we get to see what choked that guy before. It's BB, his creation. He arrives at Polytech.
This is it, Paul. A brand new lab, all ready to go. And we've installed a tie-in to the mainframe, so you'll have as much computer power as you could possibly want.
Christy Swanson plays his next-door neighbor, Sam.
No one's running it. He's doing it himself.
She's abused by her father. And there's grumpy Elvira Parker.
It's just a robot, Miss Parker. He's your new neighbor.
And Ramsey.
Okay, we're going. Just remember I have to collect tomorrow.
You run in with some bullies.
You can crush it if you want. Here's 3 multi-valve compressors.
Thinking about going out.
That's the abusive dad.
I didn't think you'd mind.
Why don't you tell these people you're sorry for bothering them?
Oh, but she wasn't sorry.
Hey, this won't happen again.
They lost their basketball in her yard.
You can't do that. Oh, yes, I can. My property, my house, my blood.
Later on Halloween night, she takes that shotgun to BB and pretty much destroys it. Sam, meanwhile, has her own issues with her dad. Watch your neck, Sam. Turns out that little fall, and now she's brain dead. He has a plan to save Sam.
What do you mean save Sam? She's dead. No, she isn't, not yet. Go to the hospital. We're gonna get her out before they pull the plug tonight at 10 o'clock.
But he might be a little too late. He finds his way in there shortly after they pulled the plug, so he might be a little late, like I said. So he's got to hurry now. Somehow he managed to get out of that hospital with her.
You really got it.
He is now taking BB's electronic brain and fusing it into Sam's.
BB's brain. Or it was BB's brain. I've doctored it up. You're giving her...
Well, she comes to life, but she's not quite normal.
It's okay.
She doesn't talk.
Good time. This one's it.
Now, she apparently has some sort of memory left, because when she's left alone, she wanders over to her father's house. And Sam is out for blood. Paul finds her, and apparently he got fried a little bit. Well, nosy Mrs. Parker sees the dead girl and freaks out. So she calls the police.
She said it's urgent, and she said she's seen the dead girl walk around the house across the street. I thought it was crazy.
Sam apparently remembers how mean Mrs. Parker was, too. Keep your eye on that ball. Paul is having nightmares about the body, Sam's father, that he hid.
Elvira Parker? Yeah, I heard somebody say she called the police. Said she saw Sam in her bedroom window. From what I hear, Elvira's head's all over the walls in there.
He's learning he doesn't have a lot of control over her. Perhaps some memories are coming back, though. Their mutual friend Tom. First time he's seen Sam since she's been back.
Tom, please. No way. I'm calling the cops.
She doesn't kill him, they stop her. Paul ends up running into that bully again. He doesn't have BB to protect him anymore. However, somebody else is lurking nearby. She grabs him, tosses him into the car, which kills him. Cops are trying to contain her.
Please, don't do anything crazy.
Of course, he then has to break into the morgue. And her face melts, and we see a robot inside of it.
Come with me, Paul. Baby.
Alright, let's talk about 1986's Deadly Friend by Wes Craven, director by Wes Craven. It stars Matthew Laberto, I'm not sure how to pronounce that name. He played Albert on Little House on the Prairie. And Christy Swanson as the next door neighbor girl, Sam. So what we have here, Matthew, he plays Paul. He's moving to somewhere in California, I think it is, because he's got some sort of scholarship at Polytech. He's like a young whiz kid. He's not even like graduated high school yet, but now he's in college. He's into robotics and things, and he's created this robot named BB, which is just this big, kind of clunky robot thing. If you see the robot in Short Circuit, it kind of resembles that a little bit, big boxy type thing. Well, BB can learn and do things on its own. He meets a couple people in the neighborhood, a friend of his, I think his name was Tom, and then he meets the girl next door, Sam, played by Christy Swanson. Sam, we learn, lives with her father, and her father's kind of abusive. They kind of hint a little bit that he might be sexually abusive. I'm not sure if that was real or not, but he definitely is physically abusive. And Paul lives alone with his mother, and they kind of take her in a little bit. They celebrate, I think it was Thanksgiving, they were celebrating together, but Paul's father is just kind of an asshole and a jerk. And at one point, I think it's trick-or-treating time. Paul and his friend and Sam, they go out to this neighbor's house played by Ann Ramsey, who's this kind of crotchety old woman who's always threatening people with a gun. They send BB in there. I don't know, not exactly sure what they were even going to do there, but Ann Ramsey comes out and shoots BB and basically destroys it with a bunch of shotgun blasts. So BB is like dead at this point. So, of course, Paul is crushed by this. Anyway, fast forward a little bit, and then Sam is with her father, and her father pushes her down the stairs, kind of accidentally, on purpose type of deal. But when she hit the bottom, she hit her neck or something, and she was unconscious, and turns out she's brain dead. So they take her to the hospital, they find out she's brain dead, they're going to turn off the machines. The father, of course, said it was an accident, and she just tripped or something. Well, they turn her off. Paul decides that he and his friend, they got to go rescue her, because he thinks he can fix her. So they steal her body. She isn't quite dead yet, but they just pulled the plug. Bring her home. He puts BB's brain into Sam's head, and she comes to some sort, although she's not quite Sam anymore. She doesn't talk. She's more robotic-like. And then the next thing you know, Sam starts going crazy and killing people. Kills her father. Kills Ann Ramsey with a basketball to the head, which is a fantastic scene. She kills this bully outside. Eventually the cops come, and they catch her. And Paul was trying to corral her, I guess you could say, throughout the second half of this movie. And it seems like she's almost become human again at this point. And then she runs towards the cops, and they end up shooting her. She's dead. Well, Paul, of course, can't stop, of course. And he tries to rescue her from the morgue once again. He goes in there, finds her body, and then she wakes up and starts choking him. And then her face peels off, and there's a robot underneath her skin. So it's like she's kind of warped with BB at this point. And we just hear her say BB at the end while she's choking Paul. And that's our movie. So anyway, I have this on the Twisted Terror collection, which Warner Brothers put out. I think Dr. Giggles was in there, The Hand, Someone's Watching Me, and From Beyond the Grave. And it's a pretty darn good flick, actually. It's one of those little hidden gems from the 80s, which everybody seems to like this movie, and with good reason. It's cool. It's got a little suspense to it, too. When you see Sam for the first time, like when she's in the basement going after her father, that was kind of creepy. And then later on, we see her with a bully in the street again, too. It's pretty cool. I like that. That basketball scene to the head was absolutely fantastic. Very, very memorable there. And just overall, it's just a really cool film. Well done, Wes Craven. So anyway, that's it. Deadly Friend. If you haven't seen this one, which I'm sure you have, you should go see it for sure. Check it out. Let me know what you think about it and leave some comments. It's Deadly Friend. Watch it. Bye.